In this lecture, we will understand how to express the velocity and acceleration with respect to a non-inertial frame, which is a rotating frame of reference. This discussion is done in three stages. Stage 1. Let me express the rate of change of rotating vector. Let us consider a vector b bar rotating about an axis as shown in this figure. Let omega be the constant angular velocity with which it is rotating. Now, at any instant, if the vector is here at some instant t, at some other instant t plus delta t, imagine the vector moved to a new position here, so that delta b is the change in that vector. So in delta t seconds, the change in vector is delta b. This distance is b sine alpha. Assuming this angle as alpha, this distance is b sine alpha. In delta t seconds, the angular displacement traced is omega delta t. Therefore, I can express the change in that vector delta b bar is equal to b sine alpha into omega delta t, or I can express delta b bar by delta t is equal to b sine alpha into omega. As delta t tends to 0, I can express dB bar by dt is equal to limit delta t tends to 0, delta b bar by delta t, which is equal to omega bar cross b bar. B sine alpha into omega can be expressed as omega bar cross b bar. So the rate of change of rotating vector b bar can be expressed as omega bar cross b bar. Remember, omega bar is its angular velocity. Now, let us call this as equation 1. So, in this equation, we expressed the rate of change of some rotating vector b bar. In the second stage of this discussion, let us try to express the time derivative of the vector in the rotating coordinate system. Imagine there is a rest frame of reference x, y, z, which is an inertial frame of reference. Let us define a vector c bar with respect to this rest frame of reference. So, let x, y, z be a rest frame of reference. With respect to this rest frame of reference, let us define a vector c bar. C bar is equal to Cx I cap plus Cy j cap plus Cz k cap, where I cap, j cap, k cap are the base vectors with respect to the inertial frame xyz. So the time derivative of this vector with respect to this inertial frame can now be expressed something like this: dc bar by dt with respect to that rest frame or the inertial frame is equal to dcx by dt I cap plus dcy by dt j cap plus dcz by dt k cap. Now, let us consider a rotating frame of reference x dash, y dash, z dash. So there is a rotating frame of reference x dash, y dash, z dash. X dash, y dash, z dash is a rotating frame. Rotating frame of reference is always non-inertial frame of reference. With respect to this non-inertial frame of reference, the same vector c bar can be expressed cx dash I cap dash plus cy dash j cap dash plus cz dash k cap dash, where I cap dash, j cap dash, k cap dash are the base vectors in this rotating frame of reference. We are talking about the same vector c bar but in a different frame of reference. So do not put a dash here. It is c bar, the same vector with a different frame of reference, which is a rotating one. Now, let us again express the time derivative of this vector. So dc bar by dt is equal to, I can express like this because we have now two variables. So let me express the derivative like this. dcx dash by dt I cap dash plus dcy dash by dt j cap dash plus dcz dash by dt k cap dash plus cx dash di cap dash by dt plus cy dash dj cap dash by dt plus cz dash dk cap dash by dt. So this is equal to the first term on the right hand side is nothing but dc bar by dt with respect to rotating frame plus cx dash di cap dash by dt. Now we have I cap dash, j cap dash and k cap dash as the base vectors in the rotating frame. So these are rotating vectors. I cap dash, j cap dash, k cap dash are rotating vectors. And now that the rate of change of rotating vector, as we discussed in stage 1, can be expressed cx dash into, so this rate of change of rotating vector is omega bar cross I cap dash, where omega bar is the constant angular velocity of the rotating frame of reference. Similarly, plus cy dash omega bar cross j cap dash plus cz dash omega bar cross k cap dash. Or we can also express dc bar by dt with respect to the inertial frame, the left hand side, is equal to dc bar by dt with respect to the rotating frame of reference plus, we can consider the second part of this right hand side something like this: omega bar cross cx dash I cap dash plus cy dash j cap dash plus cz dash k cap dash. Or dc bar by dt with respect to the inertial frame can now be expressed as dc bar by dt with respect to the rotating frame plus omega bar cross c bar. So This is equation 2. This equation 2 is applicable for any vector. It is just like an operator. In the sense, in place of C bar, I can replace any vector. So, it is just like an operator. Let me just put it in a general way. D by dt of some vector, it may be any vector here, with respect to the inertial frame is equal to d by dt with respect to that rotating frame, d by dt of that vector, of any vector with respect to rotating frame, plus omega bar cross that vector. So in the place of question mark, you can place any vector of your choice. Let me call this as equation 3. It looks like an operator. So I can operate it on any vector of my choice. Taking this advantage, let us apply it on a position vector. So in the third part of the discussion, we are going to now express velocity and acceleration in a rotating coordinate system. So as I have a choice to express any vector in this equation 3, let me substitute position vector r bar. So let r bar be some position vector, and now I am trying to apply that equation 3 on this vector r bar, so that from equation 3 I can express dr bar by dt with respect to inertial frame is equal to dr bar by dt with respect to rotating frame plus omega bar cross r bar. Rate of change of position is velocity. So velocity with respect to inertial frame is equal to velocity with respect to the rotating frame of reference plus omega bar cross r bar. So this is how we express the velocity. Now, as I have an advantage to substitute any vector in equation 3, now let me substitute v bar in equation 3. So substituting v bar in equation 3. So d by dt of v bar in with respect to the inertial frame of reference is equal to d by dt of v bar in with respect to rotating frame of reference plus omega bar cross v bar in. This is how we can express the equation 3 by substituting v bar in. So now the left hand side is nothing but the rate of change of velocity with respect to inertial frame, or the acceleration with respect to inertial frame, is equal to the right hand side. We have d by dt in place of v bar in. Let me substitute this whole thing. So v bar rotation plus omega bar cross r bar with respect to the rotating frame plus omega bar cross, again in place of v bar in. Let me substitute v bar rotation plus omega bar cross r bar. So now acceleration with respect to inertial frame is equal to dv bar rotation by dt with respect to rotating frame of reference. This is the acceleration, plus omega bar being a constant one, we can express it like this: omega bar cross dr bar by dt with respect to rotating frame plus omega bar cross v bar rotation plus omega bar cross r bar. So now this acceleration a bar in can again be expressed as the acceleration dv bar by dt with respect to rotating frame can now be expressed as a bar with respect to rotating frame of reference plus omega bar cross dr bar by dt with respect to rotating frame is nothing but again v bar rotation. Rate of change of position is velocity, so v bar with respect to rotating frame plus omega bar cross v bar rotation plus omega bar cross r bar, or acceleration with respect to inertial frame is equal to acceleration with respect to rotating frame plus we have omega bar cross v bar rotation plus omega bar cross v bar rotation. Let me express it as 2 omega bar cross v bar rotation plus omega bar cross r bar. Now this is acceleration with respect to inertial frame, this is acceleration with respect to rotating frame, and this is called Coriolis acceleration. Coriolis acceleration. And now this acceleration is called centripetal acceleration. Centripetal acceleration. So now the acceleration with respect to rotating frame is expressed as acceleration with respect to inertial frame minus 2 omega bar cross v bar rotation plus omega bar cross r bar. So this is the expression for acceleration with respect to rotating frame of reference. So now you can express the force with respect to the rotating frame of reference with acceleration with respect to rotating frame in hand. We can also express the force with respect to rotating frame of reference. So the force with respect to the rotating frame of reference is equal to mass into acceleration with respect to rotating frame. So this is equal to m into a bar in minus 2m omega bar cross v bar rotation minus, a little excuse here, this is minus here, minus m into omega bar cross r bar. So now we have force with respect to rotating frame of reference is equal to mass into acceleration with respect to inertial frame is nothing but we call it as a real force plus the other part here is we call it as a pseudo force. But then there are two pseudo forces here. The first part is minus 2m omega bar cross v bar rotation. This force is called Coriolis force, which is a pseudo force or a fictitious force. The second pseudo force we see is the centrifugal force. Centrifugal force. So we have two pseudo forces corresponding to a rotating frame of reference. Coriolis force, which is expressed as minus 2m omega bar cross v bar rotation, and then centrifugal force. Centrifugal force is minus m omega bar cross r bar. So knowing the directions of this vector omega bar cross v bar rotation, we can judge the direction of Coriolis force. Knowing the direction of omega bar cross r bar, we can judge the direction of centrifugal force. And that is what I am doing in these pictorial representations. So omega bar cross r bar, we can see here the centrifugal force is minus m omega bar cross r bar. So concentrating on the first picture, this is the direction of omega bar cross r bar. This is the position vector r bar. This is the constant angular velocity omega bar. These are the respective directions of that. So if this is r bar, this is omega bar, this is omega bar cross r bar, you can judge it with right hand thumb rule. If this is omega bar cross r bar, this is omega bar, so omega bar cross r bar is in this direction. Again judged by right hand thumb rule. So if this is omega bar cross r bar, then opposite to that. Why should we consider the opposite sign? As you can see in this formula, centrifugal force is equal to minus omega bar cross r bar. So this is omega bar cross r bar, opposite to that. So minus omega bar cross r bar is the direction of centrifugal force. That is the reason if an object is placed on a rotating frame of reference, it is pushed out in this direction, in the direction of centrifugal force. But then this is not the only force, only pseudo force acting on that object. There is Coriolis force, which is notated as minus 2m omega bar cross v bar rotation. So now in the second picture, what you are seeing here, so this is the direction of v bar rotation. Imagine this is the direction of v bar rotation. We can resolve a v bar rotation into its perpendicular and parallel components. But then the parallel component of v bar rotation is parallel to omega bar. So in doing this cross product, the contribution by this parallel component is nullified. So only the contribution by the perpendicular component of v rotation is there. Therefore, the Coriolis force is F Coriolis is equal to minus 2m omega bar cross v bar rotation perpendicular. Only the contribution of perpendicular component of v rotation exists for the Coriolis force. So this is omega bar direction, this is v bar rotation perpendicular component direction. Again, judging by right hand thumb rule, we can get the direction of Coriolis force. So minus of omega bar cross v bar rotation is the direction of Coriolis force. So that is the reason when centrifugal force is trying to push the body away from the center, the Coriolis force, because of the action of Coriolis force, there is a deviation in a different direction. For example, here omega bar cross v bar rotation, judging by right hand thumb rule, is in this direction. Opposite to that is the Coriolis force. So if an object, imagine this is a circular disc and then this is the axis of rotation. if I just put a small object here and trying to rotate the disk in this direction, if this is V bar rotation, this is the omega bar direction, and this is the V bar rotation perpendicular component, this is omega bar, so that minus omega bar cross V bar rotation will be in this direction. So even though centrifugal force is trying to pull it in this direction, the body will trace a path like this, will get deviated in this direction. For a clear understanding how it happens, I will shortly present you a video, but before that, we can understand this very Coriolis force is responsible for the northeasterly winds. Even though the winds, the heavy winds, the massive winds are starting from North Pole, by the time they reach the equator, it appears as if they are coming from northeast. We call them as northeasterly winds, the trade winds. So basically the Coriolis force is driving them in this direction. Similarly, the motion of the cyclonic winds is also judged by the Coriolis force. Now, to understand the influence of this Coriolis force, let us watch a movie, a little video clipping here, you can understand better. These two boys are playing on a merry-go-round, as you see here. When the frame is at rest, the ball goes straight into the opposite person's hand. But then, when the frame is a rotating one, you see the ball getting deflected to one side due to the Coriolis force. Remember, pseudo forces are applicable only for non-inertial frames of reference. Now this is this rotating frame. With respect to this rotating frame, there are two pseudo forces, centrifugal force and the other one is Coriolis force.